When did your worst trauma show up in a way you couldn't ignore? My mom was addicted to painkillers for most of my childhood. It started after her back surgery when I was 7, and it never really stopped. I got used to the signs pretty quickly. The glassy eyes, the slurred words at dinner, the way she'd nod off in the middle of a conversation. I learned to take care of myself early. I made my own lunches, got myself to school, stopped asking her for help with homework, but the disappointments were what broke me. She'd make promises and break them like it was nothing. School plays, birthdays, every moment that should have mattered. I didn't want to hate her, but she made it impossible. Then came high school graduation. She swore she'd be there. I walked across that stage looking for her the whole time. She never showed. I came home and found her passed out on the couch. Something in me shut off. I packed for college across the country and never looked back. College was my escape, but it didn't feel like freedom at first. It felt like survival. I worked 2 jobs my freshman year just to cover what financial aid didn't. I barely slept. I ate ramen and peanut butter sandwiches for months. There were nights I sat in my dorm wondering if I'd made a mistake, if maybe I should just go back home and accept that my life wasn't meant to be anything special. But then I'd remember that couch. My mom passed out while I was walking across a stage, and I'd get back to studying. I didn't tell anyone about my childhood. Not my roommates, not my professors, not the few friends I made. I kept it locked away like something shameful. But somewhere along the way, I started gravitating toward classes about psychology and human behavior. I took an elective on addiction and substance abuse my sophomore year, and it hit me like a truck. Everything I'd lived through suddenly had names and explanations. I wasn't crazy. My mom wasn't evil. She was sick. That didn't make it hurt less, but it made it make sense. I changed my major to social work after that semester. I told myself it was because the job market was stable, but deep down I knew the real reason. I wanted to understand. I wanted to help people like her. Or maybe I wanted to help people like me, the kids who grew up waiting for a parent who was never really there. I graduated in 4 years. No one clapped for me in the audience, but I didn't need it this time. I clapped for myself. I got an internship at a recovery center the summer after graduation, and they hired me full-time by September. The pay wasn't great and the work was heavy. I sat across from people at the lowest points of their lives and tried to help them see a way out. Some of them made it. A lot of them didn't. I learned pretty quickly not to take it personal, but that was easier said than done. After a few years, I moved into intake counseling. I was the first face people saw when they walked through the doors. My job was to convince them that getting help wasn't a weakness. After all this time, I still hadn't spoken to my mom. She'd call sometimes, but I never answered. I still hadn't spoken to my mom. She'd call sometimes, but I never answered. It wasn't that I hated her. I just wasn't ready. I had my own stuff to work through, and hearing her voice made it harder. Then one afternoon, a woman walked into my office without an appointment. The front desk said she'd been sitting in the lobby for an hour, working up the courage to come in. I told them to send her to my office. When she stepped through my door, I froze. She looked exactly like my mother. The woman wouldn't stop saying sorry for wasting my time. I told her she wasn't wasting anything. She finally looked at me and admitted she'd been struggling with pills for over a year. Then she told me she had a newborn at home, a little girl. She started crying and said, "I look at her and I know I'm going to ruin her life if I don't fix this." My whole body went cold. It was like my past had walked through the door and sat down across from me. She wiped her face and said she didn't want her daughter to grow up ashamed of her, that she wanted to be someone worth remembering. I stopped writing notes. I stopped pretending this was just another intake. I told her about my childhood, about my mom, about why I do this job. She got quiet for a second. Then she asked, "Did your mom ever get better?" My eyes started to water. I told her my mom never got better, but she never asked for help either. "But you showed up, and I'm so proud of you." I held her and we cried together.